When it comes to changes we've seen in the climate, it's kind of a good news, bad news story for farmers. In the good news end of things, we find our seasons on average are being a little bit longer now. Anything we can do to extend our seasons in a place like Maine, where we have a very short growing season, is helpful because that lengthens our market time. It also might allow us to grow crops or varieties that in the past have been marginal because our winters are a little bit milder on average. Um, so in that respect, that's kind of the good news angle of it. But with that comes a price. And one of the prices is that we're also seeing pests become better established here that before our winters would always take care of for us. Our long, cold winters would prevent these from being successful here. And now we're finding they can overwinter successfully further and further north, and that's going to have an impact on farmers. Not only pests they haven't dealt with before, but pests arriving earlier and in higher numbers. And one of the things we're doing is working with farmers so they're having the crops that the customers want. They're dealing with pest issues in a way that keeps the customer informed and reduces the amount of risk, not only for the grower and their crop, but for the amount of pesticides put into the environment, which of course is a concern for most consumers these days. One of the first questions they'll ask when they come onto a pick your own farm is, has this crop been sprayed? And a farmer usually is going to have to say yes, especially with things like spotted wing Drosophila around. But if the farmer can say yes, and this is how I do it, I monitor for the pests, I only spray when I absolutely have to, when those pests are reaching a point where it's going to take me out if I don't do something. By far and away, most customers will be very sympathetic to that, and they'll say okay, and they'll stay there, and they'll be a good customer. As opposed to a farmer saying, look, it's my crop, I do what I want to do, pick it or don't pick it. That kind of attitude is going to put you out of business real quick these days. And it's been a big learning curve for farmers who are coming off of that wholesale attitude and dealing with the customers one-on-one. And we've been trying to grease the skids and help them along that way, and at the same time educate the consumers as to what the farmer's perspective is so that they're more willing to work with the farmers in terms of being good customers for those crops.